on the far left are angry about last night's debate, feeling the ABC boys were too tough on Barack Obama. We asked Bernie and Jane to analyze not only that, but the mainstream media's coverage of the debate in general. And here they are, Jane Hall in Washington and Bernie Goldberg, who's paperback. Crazies to the left of me, wimps to the right. Now out in every bookstore in the world, and he is in Miami. All right, Bernie, you know, there are varying opinions on whether it's important to have a discussion about a lapel pin and some guy who's in the weather underground 40 years ago. But the anger on the far left, I'm going, you know, I guess they don't care at all now. They don't even try to hide it anymore. Tom Shells at the Washington Post, Klein at Time Magazine, on and on. They just don't care. Why don't they just say, we want to elect Barack Obama and we're going to use my column to make that happen? Wouldn't that be more honest?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, that would be more honest. Listen, I give Stephanopoulos and Gibson an A for last night's performance. If they had gone after Hillary harder, I would have given them an A+. Let's face it, Barack Obama has had a pretty easy ride from the so-called mainstream media. Pretty easy. And now his pals in the media, his liberal pals in the media who are in the tank for him, they're in a tizzy because he had a few tough questions thrown at him. Too bad. Barack Obama has had some relationships with people who have a bleak view of America. His pastor, his bomb-throwing friend from the 60s, and with all due respect, his wife. These aren't trivial matters, and trivial is a word that's been used all day today by Tom Shales and the others. These aren't trivial matters. These are very important matters, at least as important as what his position is on the gas tax. And I'll tell you one other thing, Bill. If this were a conservative Republican presidential candidate who had a right-wing Reverend Wright, you know, in his church, and who had a right-wing radical reactionary from the 60s who was a bomb thrower, then the liberal pundits out there would see this entirely differently.
They got to be a Nazi.
They would get
it. The guy would be a Nazi, and we know that. But I don't give the guys, Stephanopoulos and Gibson, an A because they weren't as hard on Hillary Clinton. They got 2 hours, you can be hard on everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Dick Morris says that Stephanopoulos was in the tank for Hillary because she helped his career.
Right, and if they were tougher on Hillary, if they went after her about these alleged relationships with terrorist groups, then I would have given them a higher grade than an A.
You were much
but you know, this isn't grade inflation. The point is that these two guys had the guts to ask questions that the guys who were in the tank never bothered to ask.
Jane, how do you see it?
Well, first of all, look forward to the day when John McCain is subject to as much aggressive questioning as those guys. First, NBC, Brian Williams, Russert threw at Hillary, and then these guys last night. I disagree with the criticism that these were not valid questions to be raised. But I do think that it's a certain irony to say the liberal media, when in fact ABC and NBC have gone very hard on Obama and on Hillary recently. They're trying to prove their bona fides. So it's contradictory to say that the left is in the tank still.
Give me one example of NBC News going hard on Obama.
In the debate where they went hard on Hillary, and we criticized them. Last night they went
you just said NBC News lately has been going hard on Obama. Give me
no,
one
I'm
example.
saying in the debate a while ago they went hard on Hillary. Last night to ask about the flag pin and have that be the one question.
I just want to be clear, Jane. NBC News has never
no,
hard
I'm saying
on Barack
in the
Obama
debate.
In any way, shape, or form.
I said they were hard on Hillary. Russert was hard on Hillary.
You misspoke because you lumped them else in.
Okay.
All right, now let's advance the story a little bit more. When you have an outcry about you can't be mean to Barack, I think, Jane, that works against Barack.
I agree with you. I think if he can't answer these questions, I agree with you. Reverend Wright, people who are for Obama are misunderstanding. Wright is an issue to a lot of voters.
Absolutely.
He needs to deal with it. He needs a better answer than he gave. But I have to say, with all due respect to Bernie, to somehow smear him as hanging out with the Weather Underground when he was on a board with somebody, that's what he's going to be up against.
You said he was a friend of the we don't know.
It was more than that.
We don't know.
Well, but he's going to have to answer these kind of attacks.
You wouldn't feel that way if a conservative
How do you know how I would feel?
My guess is you wouldn't feel that way if a conservative Republican were on the board with and went to the House with some guy who was in the right wing throwing bombs around in the 1960s.
The fact is,
then it would never, ever go away.
Wait, Obama is going to have to answer these questions better, but we have not heard John McCain subject to hard questioning.
Well,
about
John
his position
McCain's coming on the
Iraq.
Factor, Jane.
Okay,
Very,
well,
very
then ask him
shortly,
hard
we
questions.
understand.
Okay.
So we'll take care of that. Now, Bernie, your pal Bill Maher, and I understand you guys go fishing together
Yeah,
in the Everglades,
my pal Bill Maher.
is going to
work for the same company.
apologize for calling the Pope a Nazi and saying that the Pope is fine with all the child molestation. Is the apology enough? You know, how do you see it?
Oh, yeah. I don't want to see anybody get the Imus treatment for making dumb comments. And if he's apologizing, knowing Bill Maher, I'm guessing somebody twisted his arm to apologize.
Well, you work for HBO.
But here's the thing, Bill. What's that?
You work for HBO.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I don't hang out with the...
No, but is the culture over there, would the management over there be suitably angry to say to Maher, you got to apologize?
Not unless there was some pressure that, you know, we may lose some subscribers over this or something like that. But listen, Bill Maher fancies himself a cutting-edge stand-up comic. Going after the Catholic Church is about as uncutting edge as you can get. This is the only group you can criticize without any fear of any kind of repercussions. But if he's apologizing, whatever the source of the apology, whatever the impetus for the apology, fine.
All right. I'm glad we're ending Friends tonight. Bernie and Jane, everybody.